Modern research in sexual health shows that human pleasure is far more diverse than we often imagine, with more than 20 distinct forms of experience. Among them, what many describe as the queen of peak states does not arise from haste or the dramatized images often seen in media, but through thoughtful preparation that respects both body and emotion. By dedicating just 20 minutes before intimacy to relaxation, gentle touch, and emotional alignment, couples can transform routine encounters into something entirely new, deeper, more meaningful, and profoundly fulfilling. This is the kind of insight we share at Intimate Wisdom, where science and human connection meet. The so-called queen of orgasms is often described as a unique state of bliss, where body and emotions align at the highest level. Importantly, this state does not come from haste or the exaggerated portrayals often seen in mass media, but instead emerges through proper techniques and scientifically grounded preparation. Experts suggest that a fulfilling experience requires a balance of both physiological and psychological elements. The nervous system, hormones, and healthy blood circulation all play a crucial role in creating heightened sensations. At the same time, feelings of safety, trust, and emotional bonding between partners are equally essential. When the right techniques are applied, the body responds naturally, enhancing harmony and sustaining positive emotions. The key to this state lies in a mindful and measured approach, one that values quality over speed. By focusing on attentive interaction, mutual understanding, and shared experience, couples can achieve not only temporary joy but also long-lasting connection. This makes the queen of orgasms not just a concept of pleasure, but a pathway toward building healthier, stronger, and more meaningful relationships. Paragraph 1. The power of knowledge in renewing marital connection. In the study of marital dynamics and intimate relationships, many scholars and practitioners have observed that a couple's shared experiences can transform dramatically once they acquire new knowledge and practical skills. It is not uncommon to find that, even after many years of marriage and despite having a solid emotional foundation, partners may still feel that their private lives lack the sense of fulfillment they had anticipated. This absence of satisfaction does not usually stem from a deficiency of love or affection, but rather from limited understanding of how the human body and emotional connection function together. Research in neuroscience and psychology highlights that satisfaction is not purely instinctive, it is also shaped by learning processes and by the methods people apply in their daily lives. An illustrative example comes from couples who, after more than a decade together, discover that with only a few adjustments in technique and approach, the quality of their experiences shifts entirely. When individuals actively seek to understand how the nervous system responds to stimulation, how the brain interprets signals, and how hormones influence different phases of arousal and bonding, they begin to see previously overlooked possibilities. What once felt unchangeable becomes open to improvement, as the body is capable of reacting differently when guided with the right knowledge and methods. This transition is more than the acquisition of technical information, it is a change in mindset. Many people initially assume they are incapable of certain responses, but upon discovering the scientific explanations and applying them in practice, they realize that their experiences can indeed be expanded. Such realizations are empowering because they replace feelings of limitation with curiosity and confidence. The psychological effect of this transformation should not be underestimated. It can revitalize a relationship by introducing novelty, playfulness, and trust where routine or frustration previously dominated. Moreover, the implications extend beyond personal satisfaction. When one partner succeeds in overcoming a long-standing difficulty, the improvement radiates into the entire relationship. Both individuals often report greater closeness, reduced tension, and a renewed sense of partnership. It is a vivid example of how scientific knowledge, when translated into practical skills, can enrich emotional bonds and enhance the quality of married life, rather than perceiving intimacy as a static aspect of human connection. This perspective frames it as a dynamic and evolving journey, one in which new discoveries can reignite passion and strengthen commitment over time. Paragraph 2. The language of connection. Communication as the foundation of fulfilling intimacy. One of the most common reasons people perceive their intimate lives as problematic is the absence of effective language to express their needs. Many individuals struggle to articulate what they want, which often results in misunderstandings or a sense of distance. According to psychologists, the inability to communicate in this domain does not merely reduce immediate satisfaction but also creates psychological pressure. This, in turn, leads couples into a cycle where silence makes improvement increasingly difficult. Modern communication science emphasizes that the body and emotions align more fully when individuals learn to share openly. Without accessible tools and vocabulary, even the most ordinary desires can be misinterpreted or overlooked. This often causes people to suspect that something is wrong with them, when in fact the true issue lies in the absence of structured guidance on how to talk about their experiences. Seen from this perspective, communication is not a secondary factor but a central mechanism for sustaining satisfaction and connection. Specialists propose several practical methods for improving communication in this context. The first is cultivating active listening. When one person speaks, the other should focus on receiving the message without judgment or premature conclusions. The second is encouraging the use of positive language that describes feelings and sensations rather than resorting to criticism or comparison. The third is creating an environment of psychological safety, where each partner feels comfortable sharing without fear of rejection or ridicule. Though these principles may sound simple, their consistent practice has been shown to significantly increase mutual understanding and strengthen the emotional fabric of relationships. Importantly, communication serves not only to resolve immediate challenges but also to create opportunities for long-term discovery. Once individuals develop the ability to state their needs clearly and listen with empathy, they build a strong foundation for ongoing exploration and growth. This process transforms intimacy into a space where learning never stops, and where the relationship can continuously evolve in healthy and fulfilling ways. Ultimately, practicing communication skills in intimate life is not just about enhancing momentary pleasure. It fosters resilience, builds trust, and deepens the emotional bond between partners. By viewing communication as a scientific tool rather than merely a social courtesy, couples can appreciate its transformative potential. Far from being a superficial adjustment, it becomes a structural element of relational health. In this way, what may initially seem like a simple shift in vocabulary can actually open the door to richer experiences, greater satisfaction, and more enduring connections. Paragraph 3. Midlife journeys and the gap between expectation and experience. As people move into midlife, the natural changes of both body and mind encourage a process of self-reflection. It is often at this stage that many begin to notice a striking gap between what they expect from emotional and relational intimacy and what they actually experience. This gap is not necessarily a sign of diminished love or relationship failure, but more often the result of limited knowledge, insufficient skills, and the absence of effective tools for building harmony in a structured, scientific way. In such circumstances, the deliberate pursuit of learning and the practice of new methods can become a key strategy for renewing one's intimate life and for narrowing the space between expectation and reality. A variety of practices are frequently chosen by individuals who wish to rediscover balance at this stage of life. These may include mindfulness meditation, training sessions that emphasize awareness of bodily sensations, and workshops that focus on emotional communication. What truly matters is not the mastery of a single technique, but rather the cultivation of abilities that allow one to sense, to listen, and to connect. When a person learns to pay attention to breathing, to notice heart rate, or to observe muscular responses, the body begins to reveal subtle signals. When these signals are acknowledged and integrated, they open the path to deeper connection and more meaningful experiences. Neuroscientific research supports this process, showing that practices which emphasize awareness can activate brain regions associated with memory, social bonding, and emotional regulation. Repeated engagement with such practices strengthens neural pathways that foster trust, satisfaction, and empathy. As a result, couples who embark on this learning journey often report substantial transformation. Intimacy ceases to be a repetitive habit and instead evolves into an ongoing process of discovery. For those in their 40s, this transformation is especially powerful, as it produces a sense of renewal and demonstrates that relationships can continue to grow rather than stagnate. What makes this shift especially significant is not only the individual change, but also the way it reshapes how two people view one another. Rather than dwelling on deficiencies or disappointments, they learn to value the shared process of exploration. This reorientation in perspective becomes the decisive factor in gradually dissolving the gap between expectation and experience. In doing so, couples open the door to a new phase of connection that feels fresh and rewarding, even after many years together. Paragraph 4. Healing psychological trauma as the foundation for lasting connection. alongside the acquisition of new skills. Another essential factor in relational growth is the process of healing psychological trauma. Studies in psychiatry and neuroscience consistently affirm that unresolved negative experiences can leave imprints within the nervous system. These imprints do not merely shape personal emotions but also erect barriers to authentic closeness. For this reason, healing is not simply a personal undertaking, it also has relational and social significance. 3 approaches are frequently highlighted for their effectiveness. The first is trauma therapy, which enables individuals to restructure past memories so that events once associated with fear can be reinterpreted from a safer and more objective perspective. The second is somatic therapy, which emphasizes bodily awareness, guiding individuals to observe physical cues such as breathing, heart rhythms, or muscular tension, and then teaching methods of release through controlled breathing or gentle movement. The third is a practice known as circling, which emphasizes presence and authentic interaction. Within this context, participants are encouraged to express genuine emotions, to receive feedback from others, and to experience unconditional acceptance in a supportive environment. The common thread across these methods is the restoration of the body and mind's natural ability to respond to positive emotions. When unresolved trauma is addressed, individuals often become more open, less anxious, and more capable of sustaining meaningful connections. This process provides the essential groundwork upon which previously acquired skills and knowledge can operate to their fullest potential. Research has shown that those who undergo such healing interventions report higher satisfaction in their relationships, along with reduced stress and improved overall well-being compared to those who do not. Perhaps most importantly, the benefits of healing extend beyond the individual. When one person feels safe and emotionally free, they simultaneously create a sense of safety for their partner. This dynamic fosters a positive cycle in which one person's healing encourages openness in the other, ultimately strengthening the entire relationship. Thus, achieving long-term fulfillment requires more than new knowledge or technical ability. It requires the parallel process of healing the old wounds that quietly shape one's present. Only when these two aspects converge, skill development and psychological healing, can individuals truly create experiences that are both enriching and enduring. Together, they form a foundation not just for personal growth, but for relationships that are resilient, meaningful, and deeply connected. Paragraph 5. Slow pace and the art of sensory connection. In the field of behavioral neuroscience, researchers have repeatedly emphasized that psychological pressure is one of the primary factors reducing the quality of intimate experiences. When individuals approach closeness with the mindset of having to achieve results or needing to finish quickly, the sympathetic nervous system becomes overactivated, leading to heightened stress. This state makes it difficult for the body to relax and reduces sensitivity to subtle sensory signals. Conversely, when a slower rhythm is adopted, the body has an opportunity to enter a relaxed state, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system responsible for calmness, safety, and bonding to exert its influence. Beginning slowly does not mean a lack of excitement, rather, it provides the foundation for sensations to gradually deepen. Psychological studies show that extending the prelude of any intimate interaction facilitates the release of positive neurochemicals such as oxytocin and dopamine. These neurotransmitters are central to increasing feelings of trust, closeness, and happiness. Small gestures, a light touch, a gentle compliment, or even a moment of shared silence can all contribute to building an experience that is emotionally rich and profoundly connective. Furthermore, a slower pace functions as a key for unlocking the body's natural responses. When there is no rush or external pressure, muscles gradually release tension, blood circulates more effectively, and sensory receptors become more receptive to subtle stimuli. In such conditions, individuals are better able to tune in to their own sensations as well as to the signals of their partner. This is why many experts encourage people to prioritize process over outcome. Quality and connection matter more than speed or completion. Changing tempo is not merely a technical adjustment but also a philosophical shift. It reorients focus toward the present moment, highlights the value of attentive interaction, and promotes the enjoyment of incremental experiences rather than the pursuit of quick results. Neuroscience supports this approach, as states of mindfulness and relaxation have been shown to improve emotional regulation, enhance resilience, and strengthen social bonds. When applied to relational contexts, these findings underscore the idea that patience and gentleness create conditions where both the body and the mind are free to explore, connect, and thrive. In practice, slowing down is therefore less about strategy and more about cultivating presence. It transforms connection into an exploration where both individuals participate with curiosity and attentiveness. This approach not only enriches the immediate experience but also reinforces long-term relational stability. By learning to reduce pressure and allow time for emotions and bodily responses to align, people open themselves to a more profound and lasting sense of intimacy, one that emphasizes trust, empathy, and mutual growth. Paragraph 6. The physiology of preparation. Why 20 minutes matter. From a physiological perspective, the human body requires time to warm up before reaching optimal readiness for deeper forms of connection. For women, medical research indicates that, on average, it takes approximately 20 minutes for sufficient blood flow to reach sensitive tissues. This process enhances elasticity, increases sensitivity, and prepares the body for more comfortable and effective responses, often described as localized vascular engorgement. This natural phenomenon is not purely mechanical but is also intertwined with emotional states, psychological safety, and trust in one's partner. When the body has not yet completed this preparatory phase, moving too quickly into deeper activities can reduce effectiveness or even create discomfort. In contrast, when sufficient time is provided, the experience is smoother, safer, and more fulfilling. During this preparatory period, oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone, is released in greater amounts, promoting relaxation and trust. Simultaneously, dopamine and endorphins increase, generating natural feelings of joy and satisfaction. Notably, scientific studies demonstrate significant differences between couples who dedicate more time to preparation and those who routinely skip it. The former consistently report higher levels of satisfaction, less psychological pressure, and reduced fatigue afterwards. From a neurobiological standpoint, the 20-minute period functions as a regulatory cycle, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to dominate while suppressing stress responses from the sympathetic system. This ensures that the body operates under conditions favorable to connection and receptivity. Beyond neurochemistry, the psychological implications of this time investment are equally significant. Allowing 20 minutes fosters an environment of attentiveness and patience. It communicates respect for the natural pace of the body and affirms the importance of shared experience over efficiency. Such dynamics reduce performance-related anxiety and create space for authentic connection. In essence, the extra time acts as an affirmation that the relationship is built not on haste but on mutual care and consideration. Thus, patience and adequate preparation should not be regarded as unnecessary rituals but as biologically grounded principles. They ensure that the body functions in accordance with its natural mechanisms, thereby maximizing comfort, safety, and satisfaction. By embracing this principle, individuals and couples can transform what might appear as a small adjustment into a profound improvement in the quality of their relational and emotional lives. Science affirms what many have intuitively felt, that the human body thrives when given the time it needs, and that true fulfillment emerges when patience, presence, and physiology are aligned. In the field of sexual health, experts suggest that mindful and attentive physical care can serve as an important tool for nurturing emotions while opening the door to deeper connection between partners. Rather than focusing solely on the final outcome, this process is viewed as a journey of exploration, in which gentle touch, thoughtful attention, and the use of appropriate supportive methods can help the body respond more positively. When carried out with respect and mutual consent, such activities contribute to building trust and comfort, two essential factors in creating harmonious experiences. Equally important, communication is considered the foundation of a fulfilling emotional and relational life. Numerous psychological studies have shown that the ability of individuals to recognize and clearly express their needs reduces misunderstandings and strengthens mutual understanding. When both partners are open, share their expectations, and listen with empathy, the relationship grows stronger and more rewarding. In other words, the combination of attentive physical care and sincere communication represents a key pathway to building a healthy, meaningful, and enduring connection. A fulfilling intimate experience does not emerge from haste, but from thoughtful preparation of both body and mind. The 20 minutes before deeper connection can be considered a golden window, in which partners warm up together and create natural harmony. Extending this opening phase with gentle touch, affectionate gestures, and soothing massage helps the nervous system relax, supports healthy circulation, and fosters a sense of safety and trust. When the mind is free from the pressure of having to achieve an orgasm, The body responds more positively and becomes more receptive to what follows. Scientific insights also show that focusing first on external areas of sensitivity, combined with safe and consensual supportive tools, can significantly enhance comfort and enjoyment. Yet above all, open communication remains the cornerstone, recognizing one's desires, expressing them clearly, and listening with empathy. When two people dedicate time to care, respect, and authentic connection, the experience becomes not only refreshing in the moment but also enduring, nurturing long-term closeness and a deeper bond within the relationship. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.